Desmond Bane is on his way to the Magic after a pretty shocking trade just a couple days ago. Kind of came out of nowhere, a little random as well. Coy Camiscioli, Philly Sports Talk here. Going to break down the trade for you. And I have like my own personal opinions as to why so many first round picks are being traded away these days. I'll give my grades on the trade and we'll discuss the full breakdown. So the full breakdown, the Magic, they get Desmond Bane, who is entering his second year in his 5-year, $200 million deal. The Grizzlies, they get Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, who's in the final year of his $22 million deal. Cole Anthony, who is on the second year of his 3-year, $39 million contract. The 2025 first-round pick, number 16 overall. 2026 first-round pick via Phoenix, which could be potentially pretty high. And 2028 and 2030 unprotected first-round picks from Orlando. And 2029 pick swap, which is lightly protected. So a pretty big haul for Memphis here for a player that is very good, but 4 first-round picks is a lot. And we kind of saw something similar last year with the Knicks trading for Mikal Bridges for, I think it was 5 first-round picks. It was either 4 or 5. I'm blanking on it now. Rudy Gobert, he also demanded 4 first-round picks in his trade. Well, he didn't demand it, but you know what I mean. So we're seeing a lot of trades like this, and this is the first thing that I want to talk about because I didn't make a podcast about the Knicks Pacers series, but I will say I was so shocked when the Knicks fired head coach Tom Thibodeau, and I thought it was one of the dumbest things I've ever seen because I think the coaches getting fired is getting way out of hand in the National Basketball Association. I don't really quite understand what the thought process is because only one team can win the championship every single year. Just one team. All 29 other teams are going to fall short even no matter how good they were throughout the regular season. And the Knicks fired Thibodeau like the Pacers suck. Like they should have beat the Pacers. I know they obviously lost them last year and they lost them this year as well. But dude, the Pacers are legit. And obviously they're going into game 6 of the finals right now with the Thunder. The Thunder have been a wagon all year. So they've already pushed the Thunder to 6. They had a series lead in this at one point, and it's still up for grabs. So I just don't necessarily understand, why we fired Tom Thibodeau here. Not we, but like I'm talking about like at the NBA as a whole. I just don't understand what is going on right now with the head coaches firing. And what I'm getting at here is that these front offices, including head coaches, I feel like, and obviously the head coaches don't control the trades, even though they might have a say here and there. They know that they probably won't be around for like these when these first round picks are gonna pan out. They want to win now because there's such a short leash right now for NBA front offices. It's kind of just been normalized to let go of these guys when you don't go and win the NBA finals. So it just that was my whole thing. I kind of thought the two correlated, and that's why I thought this is stupid with the Tom Thibodeau firing. But this is about Desmond Bane, so we can keep talking about that. I'm not discrediting Bane; he's a great player, but 4 first round picks is that's a lot of first round picks. And this NBA inflation has gone up in the recent years, and I think it's honestly getting crazier and crazier. But again, Bane is a great player. He can knock down the 3 ball, and last year the Magic were horrible at that. The Magic shot 31.8% from 3 last season, which is crazy because, they were kind of looking like a fun team with Franz Wagner over there and some other young studs. And honestly, they could have been a threat. Paolo Banchero as well. There was injuries. Obviously, they both, Wagner and Banchero both suffered the same torn something, maybe late. No, it wasn't labrum. Something, maybe rotator cuff, and they both had to miss a lot of time, and they got bounced in the first round this year. But Desmond Bane, he brings some good 3-point shooting to this ball club of 41%, around 6.4 tenths per game. He also has solid defense and some good playmaking. So I think it makes a lot of sense. I think he complements this team very well. But again, it is a lot, and so for the Magic, 4 first-round picks is a lot, dude. I can't stress that enough. Um, but again, I'm gonna factor in how short of leash front offices have nowadays. I'll give it a B. Desmond Bane is a great player. I feel like in years prior, I would have given it even worse than a B because I just think that that's such a haul. It was kind of the same thing with Mikal Bridges. I kind of thought the same thing, and as time's going on, this is kind of my full opinion on this. So I would give it a B, I'd say, because I do think Bane is a good player. Obviously, it's a haul, but you know what? Maybe it works out. Maybe they're one step closer. The Magic, the day before they made this trade, were like plus, I don't know, 4,000 to win the 2026 NBA Finals, and now they're like plus 2,200, which is a pretty big jump, even though it's still pretty low of odds. So I kind of thought that was interesting. But yes, I'm intrigued to see how Desmond Bane complements this Magic team this upcoming year. But I think it was a good deal, even though it was a hell of a amount of picks. As for the Grizzlies, they've kind of just been in purgatory recently, even with John Morant. Things have just not gone the way that they thought they would go. They got swept this year in the playoffs, and really they look like they're far away. So I don't feel like they want to rebuild completely, and I think that's why they traded Desmond Bane and have not, voiced displeasure with some of their other players, and probably trying to keep John Morant, Jaren Jackson Jr., and some of those guys around for a long time, while trying to do like a slight retool with some of their players. So they were good in the first half of the season. After the All-Star game is when the Grizzlies really collapsed. And I think this is like their version of saying, we want to keep this core guys, but we got to do something. So I don't know. They got some decent players in return, obviously in Caldwell Pope and some picks. Cole Anthony, he's kind of been a little up or underwhelming since he's come into the league. He's been a good role player at times, but I like this trade for the Grizzlies a lot because of those 4 first-round picks. I give them an A minus. I do think it's a great deal for them in terms of getting a lot of value for a guy that I don't think, technically should get that much value, even though NBA inflation is a thing now, and we kind of know that that's what's going to happen. So I think it's a great deal for the Grizzlies. I think this could be a potential saving piece to the franchise if they can get something a little positive going in the next couple of years, but they're going to have to figure some things out. Desmond Bane, throughout his career, 17.8 points per game, 4.6 rebounds per game, 3.8 assists per game, 39.2% for three this past year, and he's under team control till 2020 and 2029. So that's good to hear if you're an Orlando Magic fan, because this is not a rental. You will be getting him for the next 4 years or so. But yeah, I think that's all I got on this trade. It's all that was a little interesting. I want to give my whole opinions on NBA inflation with all the coaches getting fired and stuff, and how there might be some correlation there, because I do think it is interesting. But yeah, that's going to do it. So next NBA podcast will be out after the NBA Finals. I'll break down the series and give my thoughts. As of right now, my prediction has been spot on. I said the Thunder in 6, but not only did I say that, I said the two teams would split the first 2, and then they'd split the next 2 in Indiana, and I also had Indiana winning game 1. I didn't specify who won games 2, 3, and 4, but I said they'd split those, and then I had at being 2-2 that the Thunder would win the next 2 and will win the NBA Finals, which I think is going to happen. I think the Thunder are going to close out in game 6 tomorrow night. But yeah, that's going to do it. So I'll see you guys back in a few days to discuss the NBA Finals. But thank you guys so much for listening. Peace.